Hello everyone, this is Joe, welcome to my channel. Today I want to introduce you to a game I've been really enjoying, StarRupture. At first glance it might look a bit like Satisfactory, but it brings enough of its own idea and system to feel really unique. On this, let's jump into the game and let's begin. The closest to my job is probably the engineer, so let's go with that. Alright, I'm gonna try to keep the cutscene to a minimum so that you can enjoy them yourself if that's your style, and really gonna focus on the gameplay for the video itself. Let's go look at our personal storage. Alright, we have some food, so let's bring that with us. There's more food in this one here. Alright, let's go check our emails before we start. Dear convicts, yeah, we're always criminal in these games. Let's go do some terraforming for free. Alright, we know the drill. Gonna go extract some ores and make some conveyor belts. Alright, let's go see what's at the end of this road here. Oh, I just love how this game looks. I just kind of feel like Iceland if you ever visited. It's got this meteorite pieces to get its heart. And this is pretty simple. You click on the meteorite with your gun and you start extracting the ore. If you look in the middle, you can see one bar fill out of 5. The more that you extract in a row, the faster your gun extracts. That's going to be pretty good when you need to get a lot of material in one shot. And when you get used to it, you can see some part of the meteorite has certain colors, like the part we just removed. If we shoot there, it's going to go a little bit faster. And otherwise, if you just shoot anywhere, it's still going to get destroyed. And there we go, we got a bunch of materials. If I press tab, you can see calcium, wolfram, titanium, and a meteorite heart. The next thing we have to do is put a base core. I'm gonna pick up these hydro balls, we're gonna need them for food and water at some point anyway. And let's find a nice place for our base. Here we have the titanium ore, I believe. Yes. Some food. You see the bars on our weapon to the bottom right. If I press R to reload it, you'll see it's going to be emptied. You won't be able to fire longer. And here we have the wolfram ore. So that seems like a good place. We have both our main material. I'm going to make some space and I'm going to build our base right here. Press B and select the base core. The game is a grid system, so you cannot just put it wherever you want. You can also lift the building or lower it how you want. I'm going to keep everything just right above ground level. This building acts as a shield to protect our base from what you'll see later. The base core also controls the number of buildings you can have under it. But for now, we don't have to worry about this. Our next objective is just to collect a few more ores. Let's go get some titanium. Of course, everything is manual because we just started the game. Let's reload before we overheat. Let's continue. Let's get to 12. Alright, let's go get the wolfram ore. You can mine this little mound here or the ground, it gives the same thing. Alright, let's go back to our ship and build the building materials that we need. Some people might be annoyed by the chatter in this game. I would understand why they would. For me, I just tune it out. And for this video, I'll try to cut it for most of it, so you won't have to worry about it. Let's take it right here and go back to our ship. This game has some enemies like in Factorio, but currently we're at the beginning of the tutorial, we don't have to worry about this. Let's go to the item printer. And let's print some basic item material.
Everything's ready.
Almost every building is going to build at the beginning of the game will only require this. It's mostly the items that you produce that will require different items. Let's go back to our base and start building. Let's start building our base. Currently we have a basic habitat, an airlock, and a basic item printer. The way that power works in this game, as long as it's connected through platforms, or you'll see a bit later, some of the equivalent of conveyor belt, then the building is powered, so I can safely put my building here. I'm gonna build an airlock to enter it. Those buildings are very secure and you'll see why later. Next we're gonna put the basic item printer, or I'm gonna put 2 by mistake. I'm gonna press F and destroy this extra copy I've done here. Go. And with this we don't need to go back to our shuttle, we can build basic building material. Next, let's build a corporate terminal. Going to be one of these things that makes this game a little bit different. By fulfilling contracts for these different companies, we're going to unlock different technologies. Let's unlock the level 1 for the trading corporation. This is going to give us better ways to build our base, a bit of power, and as well a way to send our items in space. We can unlock more technologies.
Once you build,
Look, we get a bit more ores, I can print a few more building materials. And don't worry, this is going to be much faster very soon. Alright, that should be enough. With a couple hundred building material, we should be okay to build what we need. Let's build the orbital cargo launcher. These acts a little bit like the space elevator in Satisfactory, except you can have a bunch of them. I'm going to create an area here that's going to be my shipping center, but I need to remember that it will need to be connected with our main base. So let's put the first one here. Thank you, game, this is what I was saying. I'm going to create a solar generator. I'm going to put them on this side here. First of all, I'll put some stairs. I don't need to jump awkwardly every time. I'm going to put platforms here so I can go across without having to go around. I'm going to add some stairs. It's not as awkward as Planet Crafter, but it's not perfect either. And finally, let's add the solar generators. Alright, our main base is powered, but not our shipping area because it's not connected yet. There's a different way to power this, but I don't have it yet. So I'm going to do what the game asked me to do. I'm just going to put platform all the way there. Alright, let's finish connecting these. And there we go. Let's go to our orbital cargo launcher. And I'm going to need to send titanium ore. Currently I need 5 of them, so I'm just going to dump what I have manually in there, and that should be the level 1. And that will mean that our contract will be fulfilled as soon as we send the 5th one. You can see why I said you need more than one, because it sends them very slowly.
the shipment has arrived.
When you're done, just click the building and the leftovers will go back to your inventory. Let's go back to our base and see what we unlocked.
Go ahead.
Let's look at our corporate terminal. And let's claim it. We'll be able to do ore extractor, rail, which is equivalent of the conveyor belts, and a couple type of supports.
Can you guess what they're for?
Yes, I can guess what they're for. Let's go put our first ore extractor in the titanium.
The ore excavator excavates ores.
Alright, let's see how many resources we need for these. Okay, it's 80 each. I only have 104, but I'll go make some afterwards. It's gonna make everything faster, so I'm gonna plop one right away. These are placed directly on the resources. Oh, you don't really have a choice of where you put them, except you can choose the exit. I'm gonna throw everything toward the center. We'll put our automation over there. As the game is telling us, we can also power buildings by connecting them through rails. I'm just gonna run here for 1 second. Our next item will be titanium ore, so I need to connect this building to this output here. And currently we're very limited in any sort of automation. Like, we have the rail, that's pretty much it. We don't have any storage or anything like that. I like to set my rail and the different type of supports as favorite so that it's easier to reach. Alright, let's start connecting our buildings. If you put the rail, it's going to create a platform by itself. But what I recommend you do is you do a rail connector, because that's going to allow 4 different connections. And you'll see very soon why this is useful. Now let's connect the building to the connector we just created. And you can see here, you can connect it to the different side of it. I'm going to connect it to the middle because I want the 2 sides to be one of my main buses. I'm going to add one more connector here to go towards our cargo launchers. I'm going to lift it a little bit so that I can walk on there. That's going to be the line that will connect to this building there. Let's connect this connector to our cargo launcher. I'm going to add one more connector here because I'll have resources coming from other direction and I don't have enough resources. And here are the highlights of my resource run.
Good stuff.
And this is how you properly destroy a meteorite. Let's go back to base. We should have enough to print our construction material now. Soon this is not gonna be a problem with our ore extractor, but for now let's just build as much as we can. I'm gonna add one more rail connector here, and let's finish connecting our building. Alright, our ore extractor should be powered now, let's go see it.
You'll have more time to build out.
As you can see, it's extracting, but it's not sending anything on the belt. You're gonna see why very shortly. Right, I'm gonna grab this ore, which is much faster than mining the ground. And before I show you why it's not sending the ore to the cargo launcher, I'm gonna go build a Wolfram ore extractor first. I'm gonna keep some space to put some buildings. I'm gonna throw it in this direction. I'm gonna follow what I said earlier. I'm gonna put a rail connector, just give us some option later. Let's connect the rail to this one here. And I'm gonna connect this one to this junction here. And you can probably start seeing why I'm doing things like that. Let's look at the building. You can see this is also extracting. And if you ever want to see how much power something uses, you can click on the information here and you can see that this takes 5 power and the power grid is maxed out. Which means we should probably build a few more of these solar panels before we move forward. I'm just going to line them up here since we made a path to go in the middle anyway. Alright, it says we don't have enough resources. That's okay because we're starting to produce a lot of ore automatically. Let's grab 100 here. I'll go grab some Wolfram ore and then we're gonna start doing some automation. That should give us a lot of building materials now. Alright, that should last us a little bit. So the reason why the ore extractor is not sending anything is because this game uses a request system. Currently we're not requesting anything. So if I come here and I select the titanium ore and I turn around, you'll see that the ore is starting to come here. The system is not unique, but it does make it different than most factory games. And this is why I'm doing a main bus pattern here, so that regardless of what my old buildings will request, it's gonna flow through here. Alright, our first items are almost here. As I was saying earlier, this is going to be very slow. Well, not at the moment, it's only 20. Well, even then, that takes a little while. Let's build a few of these cargo launchers. And then we'll put a rail connector in front of each of them. And I'm gonna bring the rail here. Connect it in this direction. Let's connect the other ones. Now this is a pattern we can repeat a few more times. At some point we're gonna max out the belt, but these cargo launchers are really slow. To quickly create them, you can press the Z key. That gives you a clone and you just have to put it on the ground. Alright, it's not exactly lined up, but I'm gonna survive like this. Let's go back to our terminal, see what we unlock. Analyzing station. Let's build it. All of these takes the normal building materials, so this is not a problem. And I'll put a viewport here so we can see outside. Maybe I'll put a door here at some point. I'll just put one here. One more so I can see in every direction. Let's see what you can do with this analyzing station. What this station does is that you can put items in it and it transforms it into data points, which are used for research. In fact, what we've been doing with the cargo launcher, it's been translating into data points. If I look here, you can see that at the top we have the number of research points. We were just getting them by sending titanium ore to space. So we have 90, this costs 50. Let's level it up. And this unlocked the smelter. Let's go see what's the next objective. Next item, we're gonna produce titanium bars. I'm going to set the same thing in all our different cargo launchers. The titanium bars will require the smelter, but first of all I want to add a bit more energy generation here. Since this building consumes 10 power and our solar panel generates 10, I like to put one behind each of them. I don't mind when things are not very straight, but this is a little much for me. There we go. Right, the game is telling us to deconstruct the rail between the orbital launcher and the excavator because the game expects you to do it in one shot, but so I'm just gonna do it like this for the game to be happy, but what we had was perfectly fine. There we go, just rebuild it again. I'm gonna create a couple more ore extractors. I can use them to create the bars. I'll put one more for each of the ore type. follow the same pattern. Let's put a rail connector here. It's about the right height. The game is very flexible in how you build. And I'll pick this one here as well. And I might need to build a couple more solar panels afterwards. Maybe I have an excessive amount of rail connector, but I feel it's less annoying than having to rebuild them every time I need to make a change. Let's connect it to our main bus and we should be good to go. And before I run out of power, I'm just going to do a few of these. As long as it's connected to a platform that has power, including one that just has rails like this, it works. Of course that blocks the rail here, so that's not great, but if I put a few more platforms, I can make a little farm here. So let's do that. If I press Y, it's gonna lock the height. Alright, there's not much I can build here, so I feel this is a good spot for these. And if I click on one of them, you can see that we have a lot of power in the grid and we're using very little of it. Alright, let's put the smelter down here. This is gonna be a little tight. I think it'll be okay if I lift it. Yeah, that's good. It's a bit twisted, that's okay. I'm gonna put some stairs here, it's a little annoying to get there. Go, I'll put one on the other side as well. Alright, now if I select the recipe for titanium bar, it should start requesting them from this building. This thing is not powered. I didn't connect it to the rail or this, so this is normal. A few platforms and we should be good to go. And this is connected now. Even if the buildings are not the same height, it still connects them. Although we're not using the bars anywhere, you can see the request is being sent because we're asking for the smelter to create titanium bar. I wanted to add the precision in case you would think that everything has to be connected with the cargo launcher, but you don't need to. And now I just need to connect this to this delivery system here and it should start collecting. I'm gonna delete this here. I'm gonna add one more connector. Let's connect the old rail. Let's connect it on this side. And last thing we have to do is just connect this rail here to this one. And because the cargo launchers were already requesting that item, it started right away. Let's see how many points we need. We need 100. I'm gonna add one more of these patterns here, just so we can have 4 of them going on. And there we go. We need to set it up to the titanium bar. Oh, this thing gives 5 each, so we'll reach it very soon. Alright, anyway, I'm just gonna go set up a copper bar production as well. Let's go to this new one here. I'm gonna break the rail. And for the rest, I'll follow the same pattern I've just done with iron. And to make sure this is powered, just have to connect it to our whole network and this should be good to go. Right after we pick the right type of bar to be produced. If you were wondering what the speed is, it produces 2 every 2 seconds. And if I look at the extractor here, it produces 2 every 2 seconds. So nothing to worry about at the beginning of the game. I'm probably gonna need some bars at some point, so I'm just gonna grab a few on me. And I'll get the same thing here, a little 99 bars. We should have reached level 5, so I just need to go collect it. 100%, let's click on that, and let's claim. Training completed.
Great job.
I'm gonna remove the terminal from here and I'll put it on the side. I want this to be a door. Ooh, maybe not a good idea here. Or you know what, maybe we can extend our base. If I look at what we unlock, we now have a horizontal connector and a vertical connector. So how about we test this to make our base bigger? Let's go back outside. I'm gonna add one more habitat on this side. There we go. And I'll add one on top of this one. I'm gonna add my airlock on this side here. And why not one on top? We also unlock this cool extended walkway. go from here all the way here. Very convenient. And what we unlock to go between different buildings is the horizontal connector. And the last one, if I want to go up, I'm going to do the vertical connector here. And all I need here is something to go down. Let's start by adding a platform at the bottom. How about if I do something like this? Let's go down. And now let's see if I can make it go here. Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure. It has to have a little curve in it. Probably something like this. What if I start from the bottom? I'll see where I can connect it above. Oh, I saw some green. This is promising. Alright, I'll take that. I just gotta move the airlock on top. I need some stairs here as well. And last step, just have to move the airlock. There's no reason to not put the airlock on the corner, so I'm gonna do this. By the way, if you've been wondering why these doors are inconvenient with an airlock, you're gonna see it before the end of this video. Alright, this is pretty convenient, I like it. And here, just have to make my platform a little bit longer. Some stairs and I'm done. This is much nicer than what I've done before, I like it. Alright, last thing I want to put is a ladder, just to show you. Maybe I can put one just to go to the top of the building. Okay, that's not the safest thing I've ever done. I'm gonna add a little platform here, and that should be much safer. Now we can enjoy a nice view of our kingdom. Let's go see what we can unlock now with the different corporations. We have 5 different of them. This one is regeneration chamber. This one is a fabricator, which is going to be our next tier of items. This one has some defense, which will end up being useful when we start exploring. This is a recipe station, which is going to allow us to create new items with the existing buildings that we have. And as well as personal storage and storage depots. So as you can see, everything is useful. Let's go see what we need for each of them. This one requires wolfram bar, so I'm going to do this. This one requires titanium bar, so I'm going to start 2 of them. And if you look at them, it's pretty much the combination of the 2. In fact, I'll do something I haven't done in my test game, and I'll put 1 for each corporation. Not the most efficient thing to do, but because it's going to get slow at some point, but the first level is really fast, so it won't matter much. Alright, last thing I have to do is copy the rail. And select our last corporation. And we should be good. You can see there's a giant train of product coming in. And if I look at the rail capacity, it's 2 items per second, which is not great. That's about how fast our buildings are producing. But the cargo launcher are very slow, so maybe it compensates a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty nice to see everything getting delivered like this. Until this is ready, I'm going to go do a little bit of exploration, just so you can see a bit more of the items we can get, and we're going to need some of these anyway in the future. Let's go through this mini canyon here. Let's go in this direction. Oh, there's some buildings over there. It's a little bit far though. I'm also going to grab all the fruits and vegetables I can find. Let's go back in the direction I said I would go. Let's collect a few more fruits. Can we collect these? No, but that's another thing that looks like something you can find in Iceland. Ooh, I heard some noises. Oh, here comes the spider. Our mining tools is really good with it, so we don't have to worry too much. Okay, maybe I don't want to go in this side right now. Those are not the first level of spider. Up anything? Nope, infection, we don't want to do that. Oh yeah, I can get this. Right, is there something else that's closer? Maybe this building over there. I'm gonna go see what it is. And I hear the little spider.
What the frag was that?
They're vermin, the main threat on this planet.
I'm gonna let myself distracted, but there was a nice waterfall on the left side. We're getting closer from the building. I think that's a different type of material here. Oh yeah, that's the calcium. I go up here? Yes. Let me confirm. Yep, that's a calcium ore. Can't really put an ore extractor here. There's a bit of vermin around here, and also we don't have our base core, which means that I wouldn't be able to put it here anyway. For this, I need to get a meteorite, just so I can build a base at some point. I can't seem to find the colored area I can use to just destroy it in parts. Yeah, I'll just shoot it until it's destroyed. Ah, there we go on the bottom. Alright, we have our meteorite part. We'll be able to build one more base around here at some point. Let's go see what this building does over there.
I see you've approached the geoscanner.
Ooh, let's see what's on this corpse here. Alright, a bit of data points and some food and water. Map required. Alright, I guess I'll have to get a map upgrade. Well, let's go back to our base. We should have some research ready or close to be. Ooh, there's a lot of spiders here. Maybe I can get this meteorite. Here they come. I'm sure the gun's a little bit better, but our mining tool is really good. I'm paranoid, I keep hearing spider noises everywhere. Alright. Ooh, I don't know, but... well, I know what's going to happen, but this is not looking good if you look at this guy. Which is why I'm hurrying back home. Looks like we're not done. I still see some cargo being launched in space. Let's see where we are in our research. Okay, 66. 73. The other one should be close to be done then. No? Okay. Maybe this thing distributes equally. Like the request is made equally for each of them, so it distributes them. It's probably what's happening. Go take some of the items that you got and transform them into data points. Like this one, it says use in analyzing station. So let's get our data points for this. Same thing for this damage memory module. It's not going to serve any other purpose. And this thing is for food, so I'm not going to touch it. Okay, but if I come here, I can use the points I have to level it up directly. I'm not going to use all of them because I need them for something else. But I'm going to use it to unlock the recipe station because I'd like to show you that before I end the video. And there's the map that the other building was requiring. Let's put our recipe station here. This is used to unlock new recipes. I don't have any of these other materials. I'm not going to waste all my building material in here. But if I look in the smelter as an example, this is how we're going to unlock the calcium block. And this is going to be used as an equivalent of our titanium bar. I'll insert what I have here. It's not that I need it for something else. If I look at the fruit though, these are recipes for food. And this is where we need those points that I was showing earlier. Same thing for these recipes. And each of them requires 2 different food. So far I didn't find a lot of these other food items even in my test game. Figler. Is this the only one with only one? Okay. I only have 4 of them, but I'm gonna put some points in the first recipe for each of them. Yeah, I shouldn't put all of them in there. I do need to keep some of them to eat and drink. I'm gonna use also some points so I can unlock the fabricator. I'm gonna need these items anyway for the next level for all these corporations. Let's go look again at our cargo launchers. You can see the question mark, which means it's not currently needing anything. And if I click on the Selenium Corporation, you can see I can either choose to send titanium rods, which will give 5 points each, or I can send 1500 titanium bar, which is not something I want to do. For this, we're going to need the new building we unlock, the fabricator. And if I go back to our base, let's go back to the recipe station. You can see now fabricator is on the list. And we can now research basic building material, which is going to be good because I really want to always have a stack of these things ready, and I don't want to do everything manually. I'm going to unlock it now. There we go. The next important item I want, if I look at this one, is the storage depot, because that's going to allow us to put these in front of buildings so we can store up to 400 per items. Let's go do one last thing and put the fabricator so I don't need to build that basic building material. The fabricator will cost 10 energy. Let's drop it here. Here, I'm going to add one more rail junction here. I'm going to have to cut this rail. And I'm gonna connect this here. This thing could take 2 input. I could make it a little bit more efficient at some point, but for now everything can go from 1. I'll do base building material. I think it should start right away, yes, and ore should come from the other side as well. There we go. But this is gonna clog the whole thing, so maybe a little bypass just to go here. Let's connect and disconnect some rails, like this. Connect it here. And for this other one here, I'm gonna make a second path around and I'll go under. There's a lot of pasta in this factory right now. Let's go under. I've connected both in the same switch. I'm wondering if it's gonna slow down. Yeah, alright, I need to connect it directly then to a different connector. It's good to know. I take the rail, I'll bring it here. I mean, I could put it directly. And there we go. That's the only purpose anyway for now. Right, infinite base building material.
Oh.
Alright, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. It's more or less the same than I've been doing. The sky is getting more orange by the second. I'm sure our dome will protect us. Let's add a few windows so we can see what's happening outside. If you put windows next to each other, they combine into a larger one. Alright, we are ready. Ooh, we don't want to be outside right now.
Rupture's eruption has started. Prepare for impact.
How bad can it get? Oh, I don't like that cloud.
Extreme temperature detected.
If we would be outside right now, well, we wouldn't be outside anymore. We'd be kind of melted. Let's see if we can go outside. I need to lower the temperature of the door. If I try to go outside, yeah, we're burning right away. We can cool off the walkway, but the temperature is just too hot.
I'm gonna melt.
Yeah, we can go outside. But as soon as it gets better, we can go collect some special items outside. I'm gonna wait a little bit for my shield to regen and let's wait for the temperature to drop. But yeah, this is really what makes this game different from the other ones. It's still a loop, so it's gonna be the same every cycle, but I still find it gives the game its own personality, which you don't find in any other one. Alright, are we good to go? It's almost good.
Planetary temperature returning to normal.
Right. Let's see if we can find something. Ooh, something's burning over there.
What is this?
Currently, we can use this to get a good amount of data points. I'm going to try to get a few of them before coming back to base. There's a bit more of this, and we don't have to worry about spiders right now. They're burned to a crisp. Or hiding in their caves. Over there, this one might be a bit too far. Oh, there's one right there as well. And that's 4 of them. We get 2 each every time. Yeah, this one is a little bit too far. Let's see up here if I can see one more. And then I'll go back to base, because if I wait too much, it's just gonna turn into normal rock. Ooh, what's that? If you've ever watched my Planet Crafter, you know I can get easily distracted. Oh, I never came over here. I'm not faking this one. There's one more, but we are getting really far. That's the last one I'm getting. What's this shiny thing over here? Oh, a dead body. Oh, there's a few items on it. Yeah, there's gonna be some weird spiders around here normally. Or worse. Oh yeah. Alright, let's head back. And we need a little bit of water. 10 toxicity.
Moist and delicious.
Okay, that went away fast, I think. No, it's still there, alright. It says it goes away by itself, so I should be okay. Hopefully our rock stays hot until we can turn them in. And here's our base over there. And you can see grass is coming back. Our rocks are still there. Alright, I gotta go turn this in. Dump all our rocks in here. And claim 700 points. And this one too. All these extra items.
You've completed an board.
Hey, inventory braid. Alright, so what's gonna happen next? Life will come back, buildings will start producing again, and the cycle starts over again. Alright, I think it's a good place to stop this video. Hopefully it gave you a good idea to know if you want to try this game or not. I'm planning to do at least one more episode of this game. I really like it and I want to show you what happens when you start fighting a little bit. I'll build another base where we have the calcium. We'll be constantly fighting spiders for our little base. And I really need to refactor this base. There's rails going all over the place and this is not very efficient. If you have enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like button or leave a comment. As usual, thanks everyone and have a great day.